I truly believed there was an opportunity for the YouTube recovery community to become known for providing hope, empathy, and encouragement to those who are most vulnerable and need it the most. I saw an opportunity for creators, both new and old, to move away from toxicity and to move towards inclusivity. Heck, I even probably very naively figured that Jessica Kent herself had the potential to come around and join in, so long as those creating content in this space stay true to what really matters when it comes to addiction and recovery, which is saving lives. At the end of the day, when you are creating content in this space as a large or even a small creator, you hold a responsibility to your audience to proceed with their best interest in mind. That doesn't mean that you can't share your thoughts or your opinions on different matters, or that you're not permitted to make mistakes and be human. What it means is that you are in a unique position of power, and you need to exercise that power with caution.
You have not been following the Jessica Kent saga, you're not going to care about this video. So go ahead, skip this one. The next one will be unrelated. I can assure you of that. I noticed a couple of months back that things were getting a little bit too malicious from my likings, and I decided to kind of step away because I could see it started to feel like you had to fall on one side or the other. And this is something that I always hate when it comes to anything on social media. It kind of always goes this way where people feel very strongly how they feel. And if you do not feel that strongly, then, oh, well, you support this or you support that. And on the flip side of that, you'll have the other person that's getting all the criticism and people calling them out for their bullshit, being like, well, you either support me or you're a hater, you're a troll, you're a goblin, whatever. And there's never any middle ground ever. And I get it. Like, people are different. That's really what it boils down to. Some people feel very strong one way, some people feel strong the other, but sometimes some people kind of fall in the middle ground. And you can call that whatever you want to call that. Call that fence riding, call that fake, call that whatever you want to call it. But sometimes it's not that serious. It's not that deep. You can see lies, deflection, hypocrisy, and still not want to take someone down or ruin their livelihood. And that's where I've fallen when it comes to Jessica Kent herself. There is, at this point, no denying, in my personal opinion, that Jessica Kent is all of the above that I just mentioned. But I don't hate Jessica. I dislike some of the behavior she has displayed and her actions on here. I'm very questionable about, but at the end of the day, I never wished anything bad on her. In fact, it was the opposite. I wanted her to be able to get it together and stop making the same mistakes over and over that were only affecting her life, or so it seemed to be affecting her life in a very negative way, and her social media career as well. Throughout it all, there has been a couple of different specific details that I think people have hyper focused on that for me personally just did not make or break anything or matter that much. And of course, one of those is this infamous paperwork. A lot of you have explained to me in the comment section why it was such a big deal. Is because Jessica challenged people to look at her paperwork, said she wasn't lying about stuff, and also because she pulled other people's paperwork and tried to call people out and call them snitches and did the most, right? So I understand it. This is another one of those situations where Jessica Kent instigated some stuff and it all blew up in her face. And as I have said 1,000 times, when it comes to Tracy Noel's work and the paperwork, there were details of that I appreciated coming out. Like, like her prison time and the contradictions of it all, and just certain details like that I do very much appreciate the time and the effort that Tracy put into getting all of that together and showing us. For me personally, what was the cherry on top was this CI paperwork. You had Jessica trying to say that Tracy or Nicole or Mindy or somebody forged this paper that Tracy had showed. And then you had, Nicole and them saying that Jessica was the one who had forged this paperwork. It was all rather confusing to me, but the one thing that I knew to be true is that that's a very serious allegation to put on somebody, and nobody had legitimate proof that this was actually happening. Sure, there was this document that Jessica was showing and this document that Tracy was showing, and they were different. Absolutely, I can agree with that. But for any of them to be putting criminal charges on someone else's name that could actually get them in trouble was a little much.
Where is the forging evidence? Where is the forging evidence? I don't fucking know. How about the documents forged?
Then comes the freaking TikToks from Jessica Kent saying that she is going to take Tracy for defamation. And I'm like, okay, this ish is getting real level status.
So I didn't catch this in episode 1 when I was editing. I just put up the versions that I got back from the state, my own copies of my paperwork, which is the unredacted version. So it means that like my private information is not blacked out. So I have 2 copies of my paperwork, 2 versions of my paperwork. One version of paperwork is what Tracy posted. I printed it all off. Her whole site. Then I have hard copies from the state. When you asked me this, I just thought, okay, well, she has the redacted version. I have the unredacted version. I didn't put much thought into it. In the real version, it says, on the date alleged in the information, the defendant delivered a controlled substance to a CI working in conjunction with the Fort Smith Police Department. In the fucking changed version, it says, on the date alleged in the information, the co-defendant delivered a controlled substance to defendant, a CI working in conjunction with them. I literally brushed this off. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. That can't even be real. Then when I got the hard copies back, I'm like, oh, the paper is in there. Well, that's stupid. And I just brushed it aside. I didn't even look for that difference. And oh my God, this is crazy. So, that's the one that I shared, and everyone's like, hey, wait, there's a difference though. So let me go to my email. Hold on one second. Please send me a copy of your driver's license. Okay, so I'm in my email. This is the hard copy from the state. Hard copy from the state. And yes, I'm still in my email. That's the PDF attached. PDF, here we are. Explain yourself.
Last night, I posted a video to YouTube that portrayed Jessica Kent in a light of being a criminal informant for the Fort Smith Police Department. I received this information via a FOIA request. What I was wrong in doing was saying that Jessica Kent was a criminal informant without having spoke to a official for Arkansas to find out if that was correct. The document I received was from a FOIA request on a different person. It had information from her in there because it was pertaining to a case that she was involved in. I will not apologize for requesting the records. That is my right, as it is all of yours. I will, however, apologize and take responsibility and accountability for having shown that. We're fighting for truth in all of this. There's no point in me continuing to beat a dead horse if she will not own to her mistakes, take accountability for her dishonesty. This takes away from the fact that we have uncovered that Jessica Kent has been completely dishonest about her entire past.
So she goes on to say in that video, and it's now completely blacked out of the video that's still on YouTube, she goes on to say that the Fort Smith Police Department threatened her in an email, she probably wrote it to herself, that they were going to have to send her like a cease and desist, and she can't share that paperwork, it shouldn't have been in there. That's not true, because the redacted version and the unredacted version are exactly the same. They didn't accidentally put that paper in. You changed it, and then shared it to the world as if I was a CI. So I understand now why you did not want me to have copies of any of this stuff, why you didn't want to just hand it over and just email it to me. I'm like, yeah, I'll answer some questions. Email me what you have, and I'll go over it with you. It's easier for the person that committed the crime to explain the paperwork and kind of what happened. Like, I can give you more insight than the prosecutor's synopsis of the crime. Jason caught this on Reddit, and he called your ass out, and then you're like, oh, here's an email within an hour of that video going live. Here's an email from the Fort Smith Police Department that says I have to take the video down. It was a really good try. It was a really good try. I'm not just picking on Tracy. This has caused so much fucking damage. And I don't know if Mindy and Nicole know that this was changed, or if she just did it on her own. And then she's like, oh fuck, let me fix it. Or if they're doing it together, but they all ran with it. Channels fucking made videos about it. This is just weird, dude. This is weird shit. It is your right as an Arkansas resident to request motions of discovery and request paperwork via FOIA request. If you are not an Arkansas resident, it is not your right. I have one screen recording where Nicole says that she pulled the paperwork for Tracy, and somewhere along the way, someone changed something. Why can't you guys just be honest? Just be honest. Take accountability. Get a job.
I didn't care one way or the other if Jessica Kent was or was not a CI. Would that be crazy? Abso-freaking-lutely. But it didn't make or break anything for me. The moral of the story here is I felt like things were getting way too real. It was all confusing, way too much. And in my personal opinion, it was distracting away from the valid issues and criticism that people had brought to the forefront on this whole situation. During this time, we also had Jessica Kent's docuseries dropping episode 1 and episode 2, which I chose to watch with an open mind and take notes on because I was going to talk about it. But as they came out, more and more stuff was happening over here with Nicole and everybody, and things just continued to get nastier and nastier. Somehow, not another housewife got thrown into the mix because she had criticism for Nicole and it hurt Nicole's feelings. Next thing you know, she's being doxxed. Then I see that Jessica Kent is allowing Tracy to be doxxed in her chat, and it's like everybody's being doxxed, everyone's being attacked, everybody's being ripped to shreds. And for what? Hurt feelings and misunderstandings. I mean, truly, that's what it is at the end of the day. And I don't think that doxing someone or attacking someone is the answer or going to resolve anything. I put out a short to Jessica apologizing if my content had added to her pain and suffering or had hurt her or harmed her in any way, because that truly was never my intention. And I had been watching all of this kind of unfold, and I was like, what part do I play in all of this? What could I have done differently? And there's so much. There is so much. I can sit here today and admit to you guys that I definitely allowed my feelings to get involved a little bit too much in this situation. I allowed myself to be very triggered by this triggering content and the whole freaking debacle. I did get frustrated with Jessica when Jessica lied on me and said that I wasn't supportive or that I essentially ignored her, because I knew from my perspective that is not how the conversation went. And there's just so many tiny details that I could sit here and tell you guys that I wish I had done differently. But the one thing that I won't do is sit here and blame anyone else for the mistakes that I made. So I'm just going to keep it focused on me and how I have felt. Yes, I had some issues with some things that Nicole was doing and saying within her content. And no, I did not feel like I could be honest with Nicole and tell her how I was feeling, because I was seeing how she was reacting to people like None Another Housewife and others, and the way she reacted towards them, she would come on lives and say things and put out information that was nobody's business or call them haters. And I wasn't a hater. I didn't hate Nicole. I have supported Nicole a great deal. I just didn't agree with some things that I've seen happening. And me and Nicole, we've had a few conversations behind the scenes. She's always been very kind to me. Same thing with Mindy. I did not have any personal issues with these ladies, but the things that they were both doing publicly and together, I very much was not supportive of, and I thought that they were being extremely malicious. So no, I personally did not feel comfortable reaching out to Nicole and expressing how I was feeling because of what was all transpiring publicly with other people. And honestly, to be fair, I didn't think that she would care how I felt either, because in my personal opinion, things had been feeling a bit one-sided over there for a while anyways. And she felt very strongly the way she felt, which is her prerogative. And I didn't feel as strongly as she and Mindy did. And we just weren't close like that. We didn't talk like that. We had a few correspondence on social media. I will forever be grateful that she gave me her platform to tell my story. And I appreciate her support within that. That was the first time I'd really went deep into my story. And I personally feel like, just like she said, she got real invested and real hemmed up in all of this. It became very personal and it brought out the worst in her, but she's not the only one. It brought out the worst in a lot of people. So I didn't say anything to them and I just kept it pushing. I knew things were getting toxic. I could feel things were very malicious and just getting bad. And I did have a bad feeling that it was going to end badly, but I definitely did not know the ins and outs of all the crap going on behind the scenes, because I did not talk to these people. I was not in their group of friends. We were all just mutual creators who just happened to have a specific interest in the things that Jessica Kent was saying and doing, and we supported each other publicly. It wasn't until the beginning of September that me and Tracy had ever even communicated with each other, and it was over a misunderstanding of something I had said about a recent live stream of hers. Long story short, a situation happened in one of Tracy's lives where Jessica and Jason had came into the live chat, and I guess people were feeling some type of way about the way Tracy was talking to them. I don't know the whole story, but I watched the live on replay and I could see people were getting heated. Tracy was lashing back at them, saying that, hey, you guys, I'm grown. I can make choices for myself. Y'all need to trust me.
I'm a little upset that I'm seeing things that make me sound like I'm an asshole, or like all of a sudden I'm backpedaling, or all of a sudden I'm going to kiss somebody's ass. That ain't it. And it ain't happening here. I'm getting pissed the fuck off now. If I'm going to see comments like I'm going to fucking be, oh no, you know, now Tracy's going to disappear. No, I'm the same goddamn person I was 30 fucking minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, however long ago it was before Jessica came into the chat. Jessica being in the chat, being respectful is not the end of the fucking world. I'm going to lose my shit. Okay. She came into the chat. Everybody was saying something. I was trying to be respectful back. That's the kind of person I am. If everybody wants me to be a bitch, I can be a bitch. She didn't come in and be disrespectful to me. I was trying to have a conversation about something else. So I was trying not to be distracted by it. But so am I supposed to stop the conversation that I'm having, which I thought was a good conversation for a lot of people, talking about how this isn't everything. There's so much more to this, because for me, this piece of paper made me to look like a fucking total piece of shit. A total piece of shit that was out robbing everybody and their goddamn mother, who would have knocked your grandmother over and kicked her in the face to steal $10 out of her fucking wallet. That's what that paper made me sound like. So if we're going to go that way, I can be a bit.
Because I couldn't see the live chat and I didn't know what the heck was going on, but I knew Jason and Jessica were in the chat and I knew that it had something to do with that. I had went to my community post to just essentially ask what the heck happened. Why are people being disrespectful to Tracy in this live chat just because she's being basic level respectful to Jessica and Jason? I didn't see a reason for her not to be in that moment. There was a lot of context I was missing and I was just looking for clarification, and a few people felt some type of way about that. So she had reached out to apologize for this misunderstanding, and we did communicate, and I knew that Tracy was feeling like things had gotten toxic and she wanted to get away from this and do different content, but she didn't know how to do that without it causing major issues. And I did empathize with that because it can be a lot coming at you at once. And I also know that Tracy is a newer creator as well, so I 100% understood that it was overwhelming and just too much. But I can also safely say that there's a lot of players involved in all of this. There was a lot of conversations happening, group chats were happening, and there was, you know, all these players involved in the situation, many different conversations going on that I definitely did not know the whole story on because I didn't talk to any of these people. In fact, I didn't even really know who Olivia or Brenda was until all of this stuff imploded last week publicly. I do want to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed both of these ladies' content since I have found them, and I think both of them have done a pretty good job expressing how this whole situation has made them feel. There's another creator also by the name of EXO from Danielle that I will link down below. All of these channels will be linked down below, and I have to say, if nothing else came from this that's a positive, I did find some channels that I look forward to watching in the future. I do not agree nor support all the nasty malicious shit happening, like the doxing and just trying to ruin people, put out serious allegations on people. I don't agree with that. Not when it was Not Another Housewife, not when it was Tracy, and not when it was Jessica Kent, despite what she may believe. I was never a fan of it. I don't agree with it. I think it's gross, but I also know this stuff is completely out of my control. And the only thing I can do is control myself, separate myself from it, distance myself from the whole freaking mess, and hope for the best for everybody involved. All of these ladies at one point have been very kind and supportive of me, and I really do hope that this is the start of them being able to move forward. Lessons learned all around. I know I've learned some stuff. I'm sure you guys as viewers have learned some stuff, and you know, all we can do is better. That's going to do it for this one, y'all. My kids just got home. I got to get homework done, supper done, all the good things. But remember to always protect your peace out here. Nothing is worth your peace. Look out for yourself. And for anyone that has really been struggling with all of this, no matter what side you're on, whether you're a creator or a subscriber, your feelings are valid. And there is no shame in unplugging from the BS and doing what is best for you. Please consider hitting the like button before you go, subscribing, and tapping the bell. That way you are notified of all of my future content. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. It's bound to be better than last week. Am I right, y'all? With that, I will see you in the next one.